What is going on, members of the Shy Guy Squad? My name is Dan, otherwise known as Danekii, and welcome to round 2 or battle 2 or whatever you want to look at it of the NPL Minors Tryout Tournament. Battle number 2, round 2, like I mentioned, against the one and only Turbo Blaze IV, otherwise known as Turbo, and he is the coach of the Hidden Leaf Village Roserades. Super weeb name, I know, but you know, Roseradenborg versus Roserades. Gotta show him who's the man, who's the boss here. And we have, with the help of Aster, who's helped us team build again this match. He helped me this entire tournament, so huge shout outs to him. Link in the description to both him and Turbo's channel will be down there, so check those out. But this team here, I'm gonna quickly, you know, with a snap of my finger, Turbo's draft is going to appear over on the right in 3, 2, 1. Ah, feels good. But Turbo's draft consists of Mega Venusaur, Zapdos Reuniclus, Lucario, Azumarill, Heatran, Kyurem, and Palo Sand, where Heatran and Lucario are Z-eligible mons, meaning that they can hold any Z crystal for an offensive Z move. But that means also, if you're curious in this tournament, I think it's like, for example, if Zapdos were to hold the ICMZ, he could have done that for having an item that can't be knocked off. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not quite sure about that, because I saw in Majors that Jolt of the Token Minorities did that with his Electros, where it wasn't one of his Z-mods, but he still brought a crystal that he couldn't use, so it would just be like an item, so he would say an item, but it's not really an item there, so I'm not quite sure how that works, but regardless of that, this is the team that we have brought for Turbo. Let's just bring it up like this so you guys can see. We have Mega Gardevoir here, which has enough speed to outspeed Kyurem, because his team is very slow and I don't expect a fast Zapdos. So I outspeed Kyurem here by 1 point. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure 1 point, because Gengar is like, what? 318. Yeah, I can't hit 318 with Gardevoir. It hits 317 and then goes to 319, which is kind of weird. But, we have Hyper Voice, Psyshock, Shadow Ball, and Focus Blast, just the all-around offensive Gardevoir with enough coverage for its entire team. Hyper Voice just hits like everything, like for neutral, except for, like, it hits everything except for Venusaur, Heatran, and yeah, those two really. And I hit Venusaur with Psyshock and Heatran with Focus Blast. So we got enough coverage, and Shadow Ball is just like a nice middle thing because he has like Reuniclus and Palo Sand and stuff like that. So that is Gardevoir this week. Just a very strong, special attacking, offensive Gardevoir. Nothing much about it. Jazz Hands, the Rotom-Heat, which is a Choice Scarf Rotom-Heat with Volt Switch, Trick, Hidden Power Ground, and Shadow Ball. Hidden Power Ground is for the Heatran, because Heatran would be a switch into this thing. The Choice Scarf trick is to stop Palo Sand from being an annoying cunt, because that is what he does, and I don't like it, and I'm just gonna like trick a scarf on it, and then I'll be done with it. So that is Rotom-Heat, this match up. Very nice and easy, fast offensive Rotom-Heat. Cupcake, the Garchomp Rocky Helmet, 56 HP, 96 defense, 156 attack at 200 speed. Allows me to outspeed Kyurem, allows me to take a +6 Belly Drum Aqua Jet from Huge Power Azumarill. With Earthquake, Stone Edge, Poison Jab can also take him out after a Belly Drum, because it'll leave him at 50 and then it'll just bam. And since I outspeed before the Belly Drum, I can knock him out, and then he goes for the Belly Drum, then I get play, and then he just kind of dies. So that's the whole concept around the Garchomp this week. Or I say this week, but I mean this match. It's just such a weird thing, you know. Next up we have Starmie, though. Starmie returns from the MVP of last game. We have Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Psychic, and Rapid Spin, Mystic, Water, Modest, with enough speed to outspeed. Yeah, I think it was the same. Just enough speed to outspeed the Kyurem. I don't think I could hit. I could. I could even hit 318. Huh. Don't know why I did this much speed then. Yeah, who knows. Guess I did a little bit miscalculating in speed stats, but Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Psychic, and Rapid Spin, that allows me to hit his team for perfect coverage, with Psychic for the Venusaur, Ice Beam, Zapdos, Hydro Pump for the likes of Reuniclus, Lucario. Psychic will be my main offensive move for Azumarill, Hydro Pump for the Heatran, and Psychic or Ice Beam for the Kyurem, and Hydro Pump for the Palo Sand. So it's a very, very strong this time, and it's a sponge of the statuses for the likes of like Mega Venusaur, nice and sponge for Zapdos and like Thunder Wave and stuff like that, as well as Reuniclus. if he wants to bring like a T-Wave or something. I don't, honestly, not sure, but I want a natural cure here this matchup because I didn't expect to get outsped much as well. But yeah, so that is Starmie this match. Now next up we have a specially defensive Celesteela to deal with the likes of Zapdos and Kyurem and Heatran. Heatran was kind of like the main issue for this thing, so I kind of like made it as especially bulky as possible with Heavy Slam and Earthquake. Because Heavy Slam allows me to break the balloon, and then Earthquake will like knock it out. Then we also have Leaf Seed and Protect because it's a Celesteela and it's bulky and it needs its recovery. So that is what I decided to go with in the end. Just nice and simple. And finally, we have a Phytanium Z Gengar with enough speed to outspeed Kyurem as well. Everything like outsped Kyurem was kind of what I was going for here. Curse Body, of course, because I can't have anything else, with Psychic Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, and Sludge Wave. Now, Phytanium Z Focus Blast just because I don't want to miss on the Heatran or Lucario. Psychic is for Venusaur, of course. Shadow Ball and Sludge Wave is like intertwined between all the rest of his remaining Pokemon because, you know, it's nice coverage, and Gengar's a strong Pokemon, especially with a modest 394 special attack stat. But with that being said, that has been it for the actual, like, for the team building section, and now over to the actual battle itself. But here you can see the matchup. Turbo has brought himself both his Z-eligible mons, unlike Dokes, who didn't bring any of them. Actually, he didn't bring Cress or Xurkitree against me. And Turbo has brought himself today Zapdos, Heatran, Kyurem, Lucario, Palossand, and Azumarill. But with that being said, let's put it on normal and then let's play this game and see how it went. So he's going to lead with Palossand as I lead with my Jazz Hands, and I'm thinking, I think he's going to swap out. So I go for Shadow Ball here, and he gets a Weakness Policy boost. So that's kind of unfortunate. He also sets up an Amnesia, so I was like, oh, okay, that's fun. So I go into my cat front, my Celesteela. He sets up another Amnesia, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna go for Lead Seed here. I don't think you can do anything to me anyways. As he goes for Shore Up, so he's revealed Shore Up and Amnesia, so we know two of his moves. I go for Heavy Slam here just to like weaken him, and then he goes for Iron Defense. So we all know now that he only has one offensive move, and that is probably going to be Shadow Ball. Ow, I hurt my knee. But he goes for the Shore Up, you know, trying to keep himself alive and stuff like that, so this is a very annoying Palossand set. But the next couple of turns here are literally just going to be me trying to deal with this thing. So I go for Heavy Slam, I get a crit, he goes for Shore Up after this turn, and then we're back to square one. He does it again, I go for Earthquake, I go for Protect as he gets the special defense drop, he goes for a Shore Up again, now he's back at full. I go into my Garchomp here, I'm risking my Garchomp at one of my checks to the Azumarill, because I need to get some extra chip on this Mon, and I couldn't send in my Rotom just like that. So I go for a Poison Jab, I get the poison on him, and on his turn of Shore Up here, I trick off the Choice Scarf onto this Palossand, and as on the turn that he goes for Shore Up, meaning that this thing has to swap out now, and I can finally just get it out of here. I'm so tired of it, and I can just get the fuck out. Basically, it was such an annoying thing. I had to deal with it for 15 turns, and he goes into his Heatran, which I just Volt Switch out of. These two were the two switch-ins I figured would be a switch into Rotom, though. So I go into my Starmie here, and for him knowing that his Palossand is kind of useless right now with this Choice Scarf, I'm just going to go for a Hydro Pump, and he switches this thing in and just sacks it off. So he's going to send in his Zapdos next, and I'm just like, nah. How about no? So I'm going to go into my Jazz Hands, which has dealt with electric types a pretty good amount of time in this tournament. So I'm going to go for a Volt Switch again, and that does a huge chunk to this Azumarill, but so did this Waterfall to myself. Still, I was like, hello? What just happened? Excuse me? So I'm just gonna get out of here, getting it back into Starmie, because, that did a little bit too much damage there, friend. Not happy with that. So I go for an Ice Beam, which does 70% to this here Zapdos. And, he goes for Thunderbolt, which just clean knocks me out, which is unfortunate, but I didn't really need Starmie for anything else. He's going to swap out his Zapdos, though, and go into his Heatran again as I go for a Volt Switch. And I get a crit. It didn't really matter at the end of the day. It didn't really matter. I swap into my Gardevoir and Mega Evolve, and this thing is also Choice Scarf. Like, I was like, come on, man. All these choice, what the hell? What the hell? Choice Bandit Azu, Choice Scarf Heatran, goes into Azumarill. I'm like, I'm gonna preserve this for a little bit longer. So I go into my Cat Front as he goes for an Aqua Jet, and that did so much damage, and this was a bit of a misplay on my part, but luckily for me, Turbo chokes and swaps into his Lucario as I go for Elite Seed, because that was a huge choke on me, because if he went for another Aqua Jet, I would have lost my Celesteela right there, and that would have been bad for this entire matchup. See, he's going to stay and go for Thunder Punch, and he told me afterwards that this Lucario is also Choice Banded. So he had Choice Banded Lucario, Choice Banded Azu, Weakness Policy, Palossand, Life Orb Zapdos, and freaking Choice Scarf Heatran. So many choice items and boosting items and damage. So I go back into my Celesteela now as he swaps into his Zapdos. Is a Zapdos. I go for Protect here, just didn't want to deal with that. And then I'm going to swap into my Rotom Jazz Hands Heat. As he goes for Thunderbolt, that does 45%. Now he told me he had like agility and roost and stuff, but he never used it, which I think is a misplay on his part. And then he goes into his Azu and just knocks me out with an Aqua Jet. And I'm going to swap into my Gengar here because I can take it. I know I can take it. He goes for it. I live it. And I go for a Sludge Wave, knocking this thing flat out. So he has Lucario and Kyurem left. And this is where we find out, because I clicked all pummeling from Focus Blast. And this thing is Choice Scarf too. I'm like, God damn it, stop with these Choice Scarves. This is not looking good for me in the long run of things. I just go for Protect turn 1 because I wanted to waste his Ice Beams at the same time as I go for like get my recovery. So he's used 3 out of his 16 right now, and I go for Elite Seed. You know, gotta keep myself nice and healthy for that Lucario. And now I'm going to Earthquake. Yes, I'm gonna Earthquake. Because I want this recovery as well from this Kyurem. So it's gonna be a bit long. He's used 4 of his Ice Beams. He has 16 total. Now he's gonna use a 5th one, which makes it so he has 11 left. And then he uses I think he like. Let's see, he goes for like, I think it's like 3 more turns. So that's 6 out of his, and I get frozen. I was like, oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Please do not do that. But I luckily thaw out on my Protect turn. I thaw out. He's used 7 of them. He has used half of them. And here, I think, is it? No, it's next turn. So I go for another Protect, trying to, like, you know, get some more Lead Seed and stuff to be alive for that Lucario. And because I didn't get that Protect off, here, I have a 50-50 to meet. I have a 50-50. He used like half of his Ice Beams or something like that, so he has a good chunk left, and it's not like it's going to stop him from clicking Ice Beam. But basically what's going to happen here is, if I get the Leaf Seed plus lefties, I can live the Lucario's hit, meaning that I will win this like matchup. So if he stays in and I click Protect, then I win. If he swaps out as I click Protect, I lose. If he swaps out on my Earthquake, then he loses. But if he stays in on my Earthquake, then I lose. If I go for Heavy Slam, like if I attack Kyurem, if I go offensive on the Kyurem, I lose. But if I go offensive as he swaps out, I win. If I stay defensive on the Kyurem, I win, but if I stay defensive on his switch out, I lose. So it's a 50-50 here between Protect and Earthquake. And I, at the end of the day, figured he would make the switch into Lucario here. Very risky, but I do decide that I want to switch into the... I want to predict him to switch into Lucario, so I'm going to click Earthquake. And truth be told, he does indeed swap out. Sends out the Lucario. I go for the Earthquake, which is enough to take out the Lucario. That thing is going to drop. We get a Beast Boost as he swaps in his Kyurem here, and I'm gonna go for a Heavy Slam. I think I don't know. Yeah, I went for Heavy Slam just to knock that thing out, and that is going to wrap up the second game of the NPL Minors Tryout Tournament. 2-0 +3 differential with only 1 match left against Turkey of the Toronto Roserades. So be sure to look out for that. Probably check out that tomorrow at some point. If you guys enjoyed though, be sure to leave a like, comment down below what you thought of the battle itself, subscribe if you're new to the channel and all that stuff. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time.